Hey everybody, this is Nate from Original Freedom. If you're a fan of the show and want to hear more from Scott and Tom Spooner, including their transformational program Crushing the Cage, check out Original Freedom Thrive at ogfree.com/thrive.
Mic check, 1, 2.
Tom, use your words.
Hey, you.
That's Original Freedom.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Scott Spooner coming at you from the Original Freedom Podcast. Sitting here today in the Raleigh location with Nate Horgan, and we are super stoked to have our guests here and friends, Tom and Jen Satterly. And got a kick-ass show lined up for you today. And to try to put a topic, a place, an ending on it, I believe would be limit the possibility here. So what I will tell you is that I'm sitting here with a gentleman who spent his entire adult life serving our nation, a Green Beret, a member of Delta Force, a Command Sergeant Major, a gentleman who now has taken his entire life's experience, the good, bad, ugly, and everything in between, and chosen to really walk a path of truth and courage, and spreading the message, his message, in and around awareness as it relates to mental health, and specifically mental health in and around the veteran space specifically. And he does this with the beautiful soul sitting by his side, which it's amazing to watch you two together, because definitely alone, neither one of you will be able to have the impact that you have. Who's had an amazing personal career herself, yet has chosen now to devote her life walking beside Tom as they share a message of hope, essentially, with veterans who are dealing with the effects of PTSD, PTS, TBI, mild TBI, whatever you want to call it. At the end of the day, the effects of all these things, disorders, are killing people, and they're killing our veterans. So the two of them, that's the stuff that I believe in, and I know in their heart is most important. Some other cool tidbit facts is, Tom is a warrior who served in the unit in Mogadishu, and let's face it, to sit in a room with any human being that was part of something that was so critical and pivotal in the shaping of how the battlefield in the future would be, based off of really, really tough lessons learned, is always a cool thing. And so we're really honored to bring that aspect to everybody listening as well. And I just tell you, we're going to tell some stories, and through the telling of the stories, if you guys don't mind, I'll take liberties with playing interviewer to dive deeper in some areas, and we'll go from there. And I'll start off with kicking it to you guys to tell the most important story up front, really, which would be Tom's path to figuring out he was going to do something about where he was in life, because he just didn't like who he was anymore, not because he needed to. And then your role in that, and then I'll bet you we'll get into how the foundation got started and stuff like that.
It's definitely a flow.
Yeah. No, when I met Tom, he was in a really dark place, and he did a pretty good job of masking it for the rest of us, or so he thought. He had, and I don't want to speak for you, but really just, you could tell that he carried a lot of weight, and he didn't know how to release that. And so it was burying him, literally. And I could start seeing that the more I got to know him. But really, I mean, you can kind of talk about that place that you were in.
Yeah, you don't think about it when you're in it.
Bottom, I guess.
I was, you're drinking with the guys every day. You're drinking more and more and more. I would drink alone. I was covering up something, and I was hiding it, but I was good at work. So that must be okay, right? If I'm good at work, who cares? And I was killing myself, and she brought me awareness to it all, really. I mean, awareness is a key for me. Why was I acting the way I was? Why was I drinking? Why was I such a dick to everybody? I mean,
Yeah.
I look back and I'm like, I'm surprised anybody talks to me. I get he was a jerk or he was an ass, but he was fair. And I leaned on that. Yeah, fair. I was fair. So I focused on fair.
Yeah.
So it drove
Play to your
everything.
strengths, baby.
Yeah. And I never felt like I belonged in that place, not one day. So it was destroying me to be in it, and I never felt good enough. So when I got out and everybody was exploiting who you were, you were this, you were that. I'm never good with compliments anyway. So I just drank more. And everybody, oh, you just turned to drinking, huh? Yeah. Who doesn't really? I mean, it's everything you do is to celebrate this, to celebrate that. And when you take it too far, like I take everything, to the next level, it crushed me. And she made me aware of.
But what did you come? Did you figure out what the source of that was? Like, why didn't you feel worthy to be there? Why don't you feel worthy? Because essentially, at least that's what I'm hearing. I don't want to put.
No.
Is that correct?
That's exactly it.
Okay.
I never felt good enough to keep it simple. Everybody that came in, oh, the new guys are better. The guys before me were better because they were there before me.
Right, but why? Did you ever figure out why?
Yeah, I think it was just I turned my life into chasing something better. I want to be in this unit. I want to be that. I want to be the top of something. Oh, those guys are great. I want to be that. And never quitting that was my motivation. I wanted to be the best. So if I wasn't good enough, I would keep working until I achieved that. And I thought that's a good thought process to have, right? I'll never quit. I always want to be better. And I'll never be happy because I'm chasing something I'll never catch, And so I think that is what was killing me. I was never winning in my mind until I accepted who I was, and that I was okay, exactly how I was, minus being the jerk to people. I was taking my shit out on other people, when really that's how I felt about myself. So when I became aware of that, and I stopped blaming everybody else and pointing my fingers, and I figured out it was me, I was like, okay, it's time to start getting my shit together, and that's where I was when we met. I was at that bottom of I don't fit in anywhere. Nobody likes me, and poor me,
Can you take us through the just wherever you want to go with the description around even what that bottom looked like? Because the good news is with every bottom comes an opportunity for transition, right? What can either side?
Yeah, I think for him, he'd lost hope in rebuilding some sort of life. Like the way he described it to me at one point was I was on this fast moving train. I was on Delta and it was going 1,000,000 miles an hour. And when you're on the train, you're watching everything go by so quickly. And then one day you don't even stop at the station. It's like a boot in the ass and you're rolling down the hill and you're off the train and you stand back up and you're dusting off your pants and you look up and the train's gone. And that's how he felt, was really empty. Like, where do I belong?
Brilliant. Analogy.
Where do I go?
Yeah.
And so he was down here feeling like he didn't belong to anyone. Service was gone. His brothers were gone. His marriage was depleting. His relationship with his son was gone. It was like a really dark hole, and he didn't know how to climb back out of it. So the answer for him was sitting in a parking lot one day with a gun in his lap trying to decide should he put it in his mouth or the side of his head. He wasn't thinking about his family or his kid or the impact it would have generationally for his family. He just wanted it over. But not really, I mean,
if I really did, I'd have went through with it, right? I mean, so had I not got that text at that moment, maybe I would have. Maybe I wouldn't have. I don't know.
Yeah.
Who sent the text?
She did. Like 3 of them. And on the
So
third one,
they weren't together at the time.
yeah, on the third one, I was late for something. So I had purpose. And I never wanted to be late. I'm like, shit. Well, even in my time of getting ready to take my own life, I'm like, I'm late for something. So, okay, put a pause on that. So
Yeah. Do
I
that
was
shit
that
later.
low.
Yeah. I'll get back to that some other time.
To do.
Yeah. uncheck that box,
Yeah,
erase
been there.
it. I was check it before I do it. Oh, all right, scratch that out. But you gotta hit the bottom before you can push to the top again. Sometimes, and that's where I was. I think I was at the bottom, and my knees were bending. My knees were bending, so my butt was almost touching the bottom. I was that low. And I was sick of feeling sorry for myself too. So
How long ago was that?
That was what, 5 years? I'm going on 5 years, 6 years now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
13. Yeah.
Yeah, it was just one of those shitty years that things happen one after the other, and you're like, wow, here's another one. You kind of attract them.
Right.
After one, you get another, and now it's like, oh, me, poor me. So you start attracting more. It's like you ask the universe for it, it'll give it to you, all right. And it all goes to mentality now for me,
Yeah.
thought process. Before that, I was like, whatever. I make my own way. I'll make the universe do it my way. Here, I'm a man.
It took
She's
some
like,
time.
I'm going to sit back and watch you do that, baby.
Yeah.
And so, Jen, you sent that text. How is your guys' and weren't together at the time? What's the track from that huge pivotal moment to where you guys are now?
He didn't tell me about that moment for like 6 or 8 months later. And when he told me about it, I'm like, what? And he was like, yeah, your text saved me. Saved
It was
you.
a little bit more than what?
What? Wait, what? No, you didn't. No, you didn't.
What you talking about, Willis?
It was shocking.
It was one of those moments.
It really was. I thought you were messing with me. And
I
I'm
was
like, that's a
embarrassed to
really
even tell her.
screwed up thing to mess with a person about. But
Well, I want to interject here real quick, because the one thing that I believe to be unique about yourself as it relates to you being married to Tom and you now being the advocate that you are in the veteran space is that you did not come from a military family. Mm-hmm. You did not have friends in the military. And let's just throw it out there and say that you were more of a hippie than you were anything else.
Sure.
Right?
Not
So
more of a hippie.
You are, and I'm proudly now, if people want to call, I'm good. Hippies are great. They are. I am, so to speak, kind of a blended version.
Yeah.
But, so you ended up getting exposure to these veterans, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it happened that they were ex-SOF vets and a total outsider able to use deductive reasoning to figure out real quick that, hey, these guys, they got some shit, some SGO, right? Some shit going on.
A bit.
And most of them are dealing with it in the same way.
Yeah,
Scripts, alcohol, and or hard drugs at times for some, you name it, right? And so, we telling the story here, that's the one piece of, Tom, he's ready to be done, gets the text, boom, you don't know about it, fast forward, and now, fast forward 4 years and 6 months later, I think I nailed that math, and y'all are sitting here with us. You have an amazing nonprofit. Tom has been through multiple modalities of treatment. You have developed fitness and diet regimens that are vitamin-based, plant food-based, specific for warriors. Done all this stuff since then, right? So other than all of us knowing that, just, always make it a point here to, highlight my flaws, doesn't even mean because I know this shit that I'm living it all the time, yet I have frameworks in place that help me, to continue to come back and practice what I preach, so to speak. And I know y'all are the same way, right? So I want y'all, if you would, to focus on the highlights of that point through where you are now, right? Mm-hmm. And give us the low points that matter.
Well, we really, it took a little bit, I'll be totally honest, to get him to agree to do anything, because he didn't want to admit or face his demons. He was comfortable in his misery. That was safe for him. He understood it. He liked the darkness and he hated it, but it was comfortable. So he's like, I'd rather just stay
He loved
here.
it and he hated it.
Yeah, he did.
Oh, I know.
I mean, and I can understand a little bit of that. I grew up with some childhood trauma, so I understood that draw to the darkness where it feels safer. And he was there. And so I'd say things like, hey, you know, you don't need to drink the entire bar closed every night of your freaking life. Like, go home and get some sleep. And then it got to the point where he knew that's what he should be doing, but then he started covering it up.
Long distance relationship. You just lie about where you're at on the phone. Well, no, baby, I'm on the way, you know, and drinking. And I'm like, why? But it was normal
And
behavior.
so it took some time. I think people are like, oh, he went right to it and he got right to treatment and everything was just peaches. No, it was a lot of arguing between us. It was a lot of, I don't know if I can stay in a relationship if it's going to stay toxic.
Sure. Yeah.
Because it's not fair to me. It's not fair to my kids, who weren't introduced to him at that time. Right. No.
Yeah. And I didn't care. I'm like, well, if it means that for me to drink at night, which is harmless, then I guess that's what we'll do. You know, I was to the point of, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. He got to the point where he was ready for help. And it was, you know, when his anger and aggression had gotten to the point where I wasn't going to stay anymore. And so he saw an anger management doctor.
Step 1, treat a symptom, right? We didn't know what we were doing.
Better than nothing.
Better than nothing. It was 100%.
That's why I want to help people. It's like, don't reinvent the wheel. Here's a wheel. Use it to roll into something quicker. Don't start treating symptoms. I mean, everybody has to do their own path, but let us help you take a quicker one. You know, but it was anger management.
And then it was Transcendental Meditation. David Lynch's foundation helps and supports veterans with scholarships. They granted one for us. We went and both learned as a couple, which I think is really important, is that the spouse gets involved as much as possible. Like, if I'm telling him, hey, you probably shouldn't drink every night and it's not good for you. And then I'm like, I'm going out with the girls, you know, and getting drunk every night. That's not really creating a safe place for him to heal. So
yeah.
We did a lot of, you know, okay, you clean up your act, I'll clean up mine. Let's do this together. And, you know, I went to health coaching school, got certified. People are like, oh, you're going to do like weight loss and stuff. I'm like, no, I don't know how else to get the information on how to help him and the other guys with nutrition and stuff. Because I know I when I would work with the SEALs and I would be with them embedded in whatever troop it was at the time for 5 days, 10 days, 3 weeks, I'm like, everybody eats like shit. Nobody's getting any nutrition or vitamins. You know, yeah, they're working out and they've got the beach body, but really they're unhealthy, really unhealthy. So I went to school. We started implementing that in his life with diet, vitamins, minerals, started to feel awake again, just alert, like I can make proper decisions because the alcohol isn't clouding it. The pills aren't clouding it. I've got the vitamins to make my brain go again. So
then you start sleeping, which is necessary. So yeah, I start healing a little bit.
It takes one to know one.
Yeah.
You start sleeping, which is necessary for human quality of life.
More than 2 hours a night. Yeah.
And also for your marriage, because I would get like, hey. And I'd look at the clock. It's like 3:20. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? It's not time to talk right now. You know, I'm a supportive wife and all, but I do like my sleep.
So, you know, then we worked out together.
We do this at 8.
We did yoga and acupuncture and cupping is more recent, ongoing with you know, the TMS finally.
Yep.
Is there any one thing you can associate to because I mean, being an alcoholic, you know, this year be 17 years I've been sober.
Wow. Awesome.
And yet, like, I can take you to that moment of bottom of like, okay, it's time to get help because you know, it's an emotional bottom always. It's physical bottoms, like you fucking beat my ass physically all you want, like whatever.
Right.
But that's where it has to end. And as it relates to your turning point, was it anything specific? If not, no big deal. Let's roll. But if there's a story in and around that, you know, anything that led up to the point of as well, you know, when you had that you would want to share. If not,
I think we're looking at each other like, I probably have that moment. It would be my wedding night.
Yeah, it wasn't really
emotionally. I
book.
Trashed it. It's in the book, kind of thing, but it's a dark night that I totally lost. Slipped by me. Didn't even know, and almost lost her on my wedding night. You know, horrible. That's when I have to get my shit together.
Yeah, that's when he was in the.
That's how strong this one is, you know. I'm like, wow, day one, I'm already out the door on this one, you know.
Yeah, but
Thank you, brother. Appreciate
That's
that,
shitty
man.
to say,
Wow.
man. People,
Yeah, good on you.
You know when you say you're gonna have half the country that hate you for it, and judge you for it. And I'm like, I know your lives, you suckers. I know your lives. You keep hiding it. Everybody has some shit in their life that they don't.
Yeah,
want
but
to talk about.
it doesn't matter, bro. I mean, I think it's irrelevant. It's like that's the beauty of that, man. Of you being you. It's like, hey, this is what happened, and then what, right?
Yeah, I mean, really, there was only one way to go, up or apart, and I wasn't ready to give up on him or us.
She gave us some good long thought. On your wedding night,
give it
you
a
wake up
thought.
the next morning and it's like, I need 24 hours. You're like, oh, that's a long time. That's a real long time. Normally, I need you to take 30 minutes and let me know what we're going to do here.
Wow.
So that was a long time. She gave it a lot of deep thought, which put me through a lot of hell.
Massive.
Put me through.
Yeah. So
allowed
you
me to
just
sit in my
highlighted
hell.
you just highlighted right what I was thinking, which is massive consequence point, right?
Right.
Boom.
And I wasn't great with delivering consequences. I'm still really not great with delivering consequences. So for me, it was a moment of where's my strength and where should I be smart here? Where do I lead with my heart or my head? Am I falling in love with the idea of someone who could be something?
Yeah.
And that's not really fair to him either. They always say don't fall in love with an idea. And it's so easy when you're in an infatuation place to think everything's great and wonderful and, we'll work through any issues. And then that phase settles and you have to deal with the real. Like, okay, am I willing to put up with this?
You got to deal with the
You've
real.
got to deal with the real.
Yeah, playtime.
Or
Or not.
Or not.
And sometimes or not is the better answer.
For-
And so
yeah,
I just didn't know.
sometimes, yeah.
I was like, I want to stay, but
Yeah.
what am I doing staying with someone who isn't going to get the help he needs? If this is where we're going and this is where we're staying, I don't want to play in this baby pool anymore because that's what it felt like. It felt like a really small world, and I didn't know if I could handle it. But
as low as that was, for both of us, that was the start of us becoming a stronger couple.
Yeah.
Me becoming a better person.
Well, you
one
both
of the
chose.
steps.
Obviously, you both chose it, right? And obviously, you
Right.
chose the hell out of it. It sounds like.
The awareness piece was huge, though, because for us, we started realizing he would sabotage happy occasions. When we look back, it was like, oh, well, that was obvious. It was the wedding, and whether it's a Christmas or a birthday or something, that survivor's guilt. When I finally got to the core of like, why on like what I'm like smiling and I'm like, the world's freaking great.
Yeah.
Do you start going like this, closing off and getting dark? Why are you bringing darkness in? And it's trying to smother both of us with it. And it wasn't until 3 October on my daughter's birthday when he had a great day and we had all of our family over. And at the end of the night, he goes, it's 3 October. It was our first year married. And I said, and I'm thinking, yeah, we just had a big birthday party for Claudia.
I know what day it is.
Yeah, I know what day it is. And then,
yeah.
Everything settled down. And at the end of the night, he goes, it's 3 October.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, shit. Like, I'm really bad veteran wife. Like, I take my card away. Like, that's, I was so happy for him because he had such a good day. And the years before, it was, to Earl, to Tim. I'm like, I know we've done each of them 6 times now. Like, we can't walk. And
We're going to do one more for the boys.
one more. This one.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that year he had a great day. And I sat down and I said, okay, so you want to do a shot in honor? Of course, we could do that. Go get the drink, but which is not Brown's ever. But I asked him, I said, so do you think like Gary and Randy and Earl and Tim and everyone would like to see you today, how you were with your family and surrounded by people and you're having a good day and you were laughing, you're being funny, you were, you just had this really good day with your family? Or do you think Randy and Earl and Tim and everyone would want you sitting in the bar like you did last year, drinking away and falling out of the bar? Which life do you think you can honor as we celebrate them? We celebrate their sacrifice in their life. And part of doing that is living a good life. And things really started changing. He started asking himself those questions. Why am I so upset on Christmas? Well, why am I so upset on birthdays? Why does happiness make me sad?
Now, she carries around frying pans, and whenever she gets the opportunity, she hits me with one. She just waits for the right moment and smacks me right upside the head. I'm like, all right. Course correction, and I've been open to it.
He's been
I have
amazing.
to be open to
He's been
anything
amazing through
change,
it.
So.
If you would, we've been referencing the third, and for those in our community, they'll gotcha. Yeah, we got a lot of folks that need a little color around that. So if you would, Tom, give me the sub 5-minute version of that day.
Wow. So 3 October, we launch on a assault down near the black market, which is where they sell weapons, ammunition, and all it's bad guy territory basically in Mogadishu, Somalia. And so we load up in the middle of the day in our Blackhawks and fast rope in to capture about 6 or 7, looking for different lieutenants of Muhammad Adid, who was starving, millions of people, and then attacking Americans. So this is kind of the final mission of 6 previous missions that didn't lead up to much, really. As soon as we get there and start to fast rope in, we're taking fire. We knew something was different, People are infilled into different positions based on brownout and people taking fire. People were a little bit confused, but the mission went down pretty good, and then it led into a couple of helicopters getting shot down. Started off with one right as we were waiting on exfil. Helicopter takes one in the tail rotor and spins out of control off to the north east. Crashes several blocks away. So the mission's changed, and everybody packs up. Detainees and convoy head back. We're going to head over towards a crashed aircraft, 2 blocks east, 3 blocks north, and we're there. And we realize that we basically are surrounded, trying to get to it. So fight our way there. Thousands of people north and south of us. Every intersection you cross, people are trying to kill you. Turning north, taking some losses along the way to becoming the longest sustained firefight since Vietnam. It was 18 hours of sustained firefight in that city. I mean, had they just opened up and let us go, it would have lasted a lot less, so. But they weren't. They were there to kill us. They had us trapped, and they knew it. So then another helicopter gets shot down, which leads to Gary and Randy, asking repeatedly to go in and rescue this whoever's alive on that. And finally, being allowed to go in and then becoming, earning the Medal of Honor, both of them, for saving Michael Durant's life. And then that led up to the Mogadishu Mile the next morning, where we're so full of wounded and dead that there's no room in the vehicles they brought for us. Had to run about the mile back to where all the other vehicles were waiting for us. So that night was a night, I look at back now, it changed me forever. I didn't know it then. I just thought I executed training the best I could. I'd move on to the next thing and train more and be better.
Also, for people, it was made into the movie and book Black Hawk Down. So once people hear that, they're like, "Oh, okay, that."
That was the original film.
That was original filming he starred in, but
Yeah.
but yeah, that's how people are,
Yeah, I guess I should have picked up on the fact that when they made the movie and released it, I watched it then with all my buddies, and then I've not been able to watch it since or read the book. I tried, and I can't. Tried recently.
Yeah,
I
just
couldn't.
this
I made it
last
so
year.
far into it. I was like, I'm doing all right. I'm doing
Yeah,
all right.
yeah.
And then a scene pops up, and I'm like, all right, I'm done.
Yeah, and it was to the point I'm like, why? Like,
Yeah.
let's just press pause on the TV right now, and if you need this, if this is
Sure.
cathartic and you want to watch it, then let's do it. But you're visibly shaken by watching this, so why? And he was like, yep, you know what? I don't think I need to go back there.
So take us then from all, because of all of these things, and obviously someone that was willing to absolutely to commit to sticking it out with you within reason, I'm sure, right? Yet well beyond anything short of pure freaking choice and love, from my outside perception, right? You're there, you're in it, and that is always, like, to me, been the, it's not about watching your life or his life anymore. It's about watching y'all. And you stay true to form. You live it, and that's just super cool